Let everybody acknowledge that we're recording. And come to our seated mountain pose. Good morning, Laura. Stacking the spine up. And whether you're standing or seated, bring the attention to the feet. Lift and lower the toes. Feel the contact between the mound of the big toe and the floor, the mound of the little toe and the floor, and the center of the heel and the floor. Now, try to shorten the feet by lifting the arch, and try to narrow the feet by making the space smaller between that mound of the big toe and the mound of the little toe. Feel the awareness of those muscles that activate the foot in the shin. Bring your awareness to the muscles of the calf. And perhaps just run the fingers over those muscles of the calves, or that calf muscle. Just bringing awareness there, coming up to the knees, the thighs, the shins. Now coming to the pelvis, rocking right and left, and do that fairly slowly to notice the weight as we going right, shifting to the right sit bone, going through center, shifting to the left sit bone, coming back to center, shifting right, unweighting the left, and coming to the left, unweighting the right, and then coming back to center and balancing the weight forward and back. Pulling the sit bones back with the edge of the chair, take the pelvis into an anterior tilt. So tilting the pelvis slightly forward, and then rolling back, taking the pelvis into a posterior tilt. Roll forward, back, roll forward, and back. And now center the weight front to back on the pelvis, or on the sit bones, bringing that pelvis fairly close to level. Become aware of the muscles connecting the pubic bone off the front of the body, those core muscles. Become aware of the transverse obliques, those muscles along the side of the belly, and just gently use those muscles to twist first, just a little bit, whatever you can initiate from using those muscles. Twist first right and left, right and left, and right and left. And then think of that the bottom layer of core muscles, the muscles in this region, the ones that wrap around laterally. Firm them up. Bring some tone to the belly, but still leave enough softness in the belly to allow the belly to expand and contract with the breath. Now bring the awareness to the diaphragm, that big flat muscle that runs all the way around the base of the ribs. Notice the belly expand as it moves down on our inhale breath, and contract. The belly contracts as it moves up, and the diaphragm sort of sucks itself up under the ribs, and then lift the core muscle slightly towards the end of the inhale or exhale breath to really empty the lungs out completely. Coming next to the ribs, become aware of the intercostal muscles, the small muscles between the ribs. The secondary muscles of breathing, expanding the ribs, creating more space in the lung area for the breath. Come to the back body. Think of the muscles running along the back of the spine and how those muscles are supporting the spine, keeping it in alignment. The shoulders drawing back, slightly down. The arms. The hands. The neck, the head, face, and the scalp. Let's take the arms now down towards the side, and we're going to just move the arms through an arc. We're going to move the arms up and overhead. And slow this movement right down. Inhale up, and notice the shoulder blades. What's happening with the shoulder blades as we go through this range of motion? Inhale up one more time. And as we exhale, let's take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, bring the right hand behind us, lengthen the spine, stretch the top of the head towards the ceiling, and again, let's do a very gentle twist towards our right side, using the oblique muscles as the main muscles to move us into this twist. So keeping that spine nice and long. Inhale, lift the top of the head towards the ceiling. Exhale, take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh and twist left. Again, focusing on the obliques to move us into this twist. Inhale, come back to center. Let's take the arms now down to the side. Draw the shoulder blades back. Feel how long the spine is. And exhale, let the right fingers go towards the floor. Inhale, come up through center. And just moving sideways, let the left fingers go towards the floor. Through center. And don't try and deepen the twist by bringing the opposite shoulder forward to give you a bit of rotation as well. Just move the spine laterally. And again, try and feel the muscles at the side of the ribs stretching as we go towards the floor, and then contracting to pull us up And then pull the fingertips down towards the floor as they go down. Inhale, come back up to center. Again, stack the spine, reposition, checking in on the positioning of the shoulders. And let's lift the left arm overhead. And the left arm goes down, right arm goes up. Alternating. Left. Right. And we're not going to speed up. We're going to more focus on consciously moving that arm throughout the complete range of motion, throughout the complete arc. And try to note how different muscles in the shoulder move the arm through part of the arc, and perhaps then let go and another muscle takes over. Let's go once more on each side. And come back down to center. Let's find our strap. And let's make a loop in our strap. We haven't done this for a while, so hopefully we're not too out of practice on making that loop in our strap. So make a loop that's about shoulder width with our strap. And then place the strap around the wrists and hug the elbows into the lower ribs. Okay, we're ready. Let's go. And now isometrically expand the wrists into the resistance of the strap. Breathe here. And keeping the arms at right angles, let's lift the arms up. Let's just go to shoulder height and then bring the arms down. Lift up. And come down. Keep that pressure on the wrists. And let's go up once more. And down. So let's continue that work with the shoulders, either taking our weights or not. And just let's grasp the weights. Hug the elbows into the lowest ribs. And feel the shoulder blades slide into center as we open the arms out to the side. And if you notice yourself sort of slouching back, if you're rolling if the pelvis is rolling into a posterior tilt, bring the pelvis back to level and come together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember to keep that chest lifting, keep that sternum slightly up. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Release the arms down to the side, and we'll do some bicep curls here. Again, remember to keep those shoulders directly over the hips and feel the weight. Really concentrate on feeling the weight of the upper body being evenly distributed left to right, front to back on the sit bones. And also that our feet are active here. And just to bring a bit more awareness to the legs, let's take one block, place it in between the calves, and one block and place it in between the thighs. Hug the two blocks. And you're going to need to play around to find that right width, the right orientation of the blocks, depending on your body, the way your body's shaped, and the size of block that you have. So hug in, and let's continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be very, very conscious of how the arms are moving. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, turn the weights so they're facing up and down. And we'll do another round of hammer curls. And just notice again, try to notice how the arms move a little differently in this orientation. 2, 3, 4. Remember, the spine is stacked. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's set those weights aside for the moment. Find our strap once more. And this time we're going to hold the strap out. Try and keep that middle knuckle in line with the bones of the forearm. So try and stretch the strap out. If you're using a flexi band, shorten it enough so that you've got resistance to stretching out the strap. And come back to those legs. Come back to that squeeze of the legs to hold them in position as we lift the arms overhead and exhale, come down. Isolate the movement in the shoulders. Up for 2, down for 2, up for 3, down for 3, up for 4. Don't forget the legs. Down for 4, up for 5, down for 5. Keep breathing. Up for 6, down for 6, Notice the movement of the shoulders. Up for 7. Down for 7. Up for 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. 11. 11. And 12. And slowly lower. Set our strap aside. Interlace the fingers behind the back and draw the shoulder blades into center and press the knuckles into the seat of the chair. Draw the shoulder blades back and lift the sternum. Don't forget about the legs. Exhale. Bring both hands onto the thighs. Hug the elbows in towards the lowest ribs. And we're going to use the weight of the upper body to strengthen the tricep muscles. So holding here, lengthen the spine, folding at the crease of the hips, bring the body forward over the legs. And then try and avoid using the core muscles. Use the strength of the triceps to lift the upper body away from the legs. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Use the strength of the triceps to raise away. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 6. Triceps. 6. 7. Press up. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. 11. 11. And 12. Spine long. And 12. Let's set those blocks aside. And now we're going to bring the thumbs into the hip crease and press the thumbs firmly into the hip crease. Take the shoulder blades back, open the front body, and keeping the spine all in a straight line, fold over the legs. Inhale, press into the thumbs and lift the body up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Press the thumbs into the hip crease and lift up. Now, take the arms to the side, lift the arms overhead, Take the arms wide and keeping that same orientation of the spine, fold over the legs and bring the hands to the blocks. Place the hands wherever you need to keep the spine in that same orientation. So the head is staying in line with the neck. The neck is staying in line with the spine. The spine is long, the head is stretching forward. The pelvis is lengthening down. So we're lengthening that spine as much as we can as we come into this forward fold. And if you're using the blocks, even put some pressure on the hands and maybe feel the shoulder blades move slightly in towards the spine. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale the hands back to heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, take the hands out into a nice wide arc, fold forward, and come into press the hands on the blocks. Inhale, come all the way up. Our hands rise overhead like we're making a snow angel. And let's remember that snow that came Saturday and just make some angel wings with the arms, pressing the hands back a bit. If you had a wall to go and stand against, you could press the hands back into the wall as we make those angel's wings and come back to center. Let's stretch the right foot out in front of us. And again, let's lengthen the spine, press into the seat of the chair. And again, remembering that pivot point at the crease of the hips, fold the upper body over the lower body without any rounding of the spine as we come forward. Keep that head in line with the spine and focus the eyes at a point that allows the head to stay fairly in that same level position as it would be in when we were vertical. So for me, that's about 6 feet in front of my toes. If we can keep the spine long, you could bring the hands out onto the block. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back. And bring the attention to the muscles that run parallel to the spine and the work that they're doing to support the spine as we fold forward. And feel the stretch all the way along the right side of the back body. Try and notice the release that maybe comes during your exhale breath. But avoid the temptation to round the spine, to bring the spine into extension, to deepen that forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Draw the right foot in and maybe take the right heel slightly behind the right knee. Press the right heel towards the floor. Slide the left foot out. Grasp the edges of your chair. Draw the shoulder blades back and together. Press the heel of the left foot into the floor. And again, folding from that pivot point. And rather than looking up to see your screen, bring the head so that, if we had a very large, one of those nice, sweet navel oranges that appear at this time of the year, and you are holding that between the chin and the notch of the collarbones, That would keep the back of the head, or the head, in line with the spine. Again, if the hands can come forward while maintaining that length of the spine, fold over that outstretched leg. And try and check the awareness of the heel pressing into the floor. The tension, the tone, the work that's going on in the muscles at the back of the leg to press the heel down while they're lengthening with this forward stretch. The core supporting the front body, while the muscles along the spine support the back body. The shoulders and the arms helping to support the upper body and maintain the length of the spine. The focus in front of the toes, keeping the head level. Let's inhale and use the inhale breath to draw the feet back to center. The hands rise overhead, and exhale the hands back to the side. Inhale up once more. And let's exhale, pull the sit bones back to tilt the pelvis forward and come into our forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Draw the hands back to heart center, and now extend both legs out. Firm the heels into the floor, and exhale. Let's keep the spine long, shoulders back, and fold over the legs. Again, if you can continue to move into this forward fold without rounding the back to bring the hands onto the blocks, do so. Let's inhale, come up. Now we're going to continue our work to keep the spine long and straight. And we're going to do some of those, the core work that we've done a lot during our past classes by crossing the arms. And today, since we're focusing more on form, unless you're absolutely sure that you can maintain your form by using the weights, let's just do it without the weights. Let's just feel the weight supporting our sit bones, supporting us. Reach around behind the back and just notice if you've got that gentle forward curve in the lumbar spine. Lengthen, and let's tilt the body back towards the chair. Using the core muscles to support us. And thinking about that orange, that big, juicy California navel orange. And then exhale, come forward. Again, keeping the spine long and not rounding forward as we come forward. Inhaling as we go back. And feel the core muscles supporting us as we come into almost, I think you could call this a chair version of Navasana, a boat pose. Exhale, bring the body forward. Again, avoid rounding into that forward fold. Inhale, let's come back once more into our chair, Navasana. Let's stretch the arms out again, if you can do so while maintaining that length in the spine. Feel the core muscles supporting you. Draw the shoulders together and down the back. Now let the core lift you forward. Bring the hands on the thighs and just gently fold forward, over. And again, if you can fold forward to only go as deep as you can without experiencing a rounding of the back. Let's inhale, come up. And let's draw the feet back in and draw the feet. Take the feet so the ankles are slightly behind the knees. And we're going to do and walk the feet together. So we're going to come into chair pose now from seated. So the feet are slightly back. We're going to keep that spine long. So again, we're not going to round forward to get ourselves out of the chair. We're going to keep the spine nice and long. Reach the arms out in front of us like we've been doing throughout the practice. Draw the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the legs together and rise up out of the chair into our chair pose. Keep the spine nice and long. Breathe here. And figure out what's holding us in position. What muscles need a little bit more action to hold us and what can relax? And exhale, bring yourself back onto the chair. Just take a couple of breaths here. Now, let's come up to standing. And we're going to face the seat of our chair as we come into our standing pose, our standing work. So let's position the feet about hip distance apart. Press the mound of the big toe in, the mound of the little toe in, center of the heel, shorten the feet, narrow the feet. Create those arches in the feet. Squeeze the legs in, draw the tailbone slightly down, lengthen the spine, soften the ribs back. Inhale the arms overhead, and exhale. Do that same work of making those angel wings. Once more. Now, as we lift the arms overhead, let's exhale and fold at that pivot point of the hips and bring the body forward over the seat of the chair. Bring a slight bend to the knees to release any strain on the lower back. And supporting ourselves with the chair, open the eye of the elbow forward and fold the body down towards the chair. Again, emphasizing that length in the spine. Press into the chair to lift us back up. Remember, if you're getting excessive lordosis in the lower back, in the lumbar spine, firm up the belly just a little bit. We're not taking the curve right out of the lower back, but we're just avoiding an excessive curve in the lower back. Take the elbows straight back, lower the body towards the chair, and press into the chair to bring the body back to horizontal. Inhale, exhale, fold. Lift, and exhale, fold. And lift. Now, we're just about coming to gardening time. So any of you that are working in the garden, gardening involves an awful lot of forward bending. And that can involve rounding of the spine. So instead to get down a bit closer to the flowers and the bulbs and to anything we're planting, the seeds, let's inhale here. And as we exhale, let's take the right knee back, step it behind us, and bring the right knee down onto the floor. And some of you, this may or may not be accessible for everybody. Let's inhale, come up, and draw the right foot in. Exhale, take the left knee back, bend both knees, and see if we can bring the left knee down towards the floor. Inhale, come up, step the feet together. Keep the spine long. Think of those muscles of the core, the vertical muscles, the transverse muscles, and the oblique muscles. Think of them all stabilizing the core. As we step the right foot back, stabilize the core, and come down onto the right knee. Breathe here. Inhale, lift, step back together. Exhale, step the left foot back and come down onto the left knee. Breathe here. Inhale, come up. Let's bring both feet back together. Take them about hip distance apart. Firm up the muscles of the core, and let's actually walk the feet out wide. So just to a comfortable width, and bring the feet parallel to each other. And think about the upper thighs rotating slightly inward. And keep the spine long and lower the elbows towards the chair. Lift the inner line of the legs. Rotate the inner thighs. Keep the spine long. So avoid the temptation to round to get yourself a bit deeper into the stretch. Keep reaching long. Breathing. Lifting the inner line of the legs and rotating the inner upper thigh back. That's seating the head of the thigh bone more deeply into the socket. You can bend the knee slightly if we're creating too much strain in the lower back. And you might even grab one of your blocks and let the forehead rest on the block. Inhale, come up. And heel toe the feet in towards center. So we've done a lot of work. We've kept that emphasis for the whole class on keeping that spine long and straight. So let's step the feet slightly away from the chair. Make sure that your chair is not going to slide forward, and bring the body forward any amount into a plank pose. Draw the belly back and up. And again, avoiding the rounding of the spine, stretch back into a down dog. Inhale forward. Keep the gaze down. And use the core muscles. Pull you back and up into down dog. One more time. Let's inhale forward. Remembering all the principles we've been working on so far in the class. And lift and draw yourself back to down dog. And let's walk the feet forward towards the chair. Pull towards the chair. Inhale, come all the way up. And return the hands to heart center. Let's finish up our standing work, which has gone from being one of my most hated poses to one that I do enjoy, is tree pose. So, being consistent with what we've done throughout our practice today, bring a lot of awareness to the right, to the foot, the chair side foot. Strengthen the whole body along the right side. Lift the left knee or left heel. Turn the leg out. Come onto the ankle. Maybe up onto the calf. Or, if it's available to you, up onto the inner thigh. Again, support the body, whatever amount you need. And if you fall out, just resume the posture, come back in. The arms, the hands can stay. Bring the hands back to heart center, release. And just before we move to the other side, let's use the muscles, use the buttock muscles, and just let's lift that leg just slightly back behind us. Back to center. Shake things out. And let's move over to the other side. Bring that awareness now to the opposite foot. Spread the foot. Round the inner and outer edges of that front arch. Press the heel firmly in. Just lift lift the opposite heel away. Now bring it to the ankle, up onto the calf, or maybe onto the thigh. Press in. Lift the arms. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Bring everything back to center. Take that leg out behind. And let's come back here. Just before we come down to seated, let's once more, now we're facing the high back of the chair. Back the feet away from us, from the chair. Let's find one block, place it in between the calves. Bend the knees slightly and squeeze the calves in and stretch out the upper body. Head in line with the neck. Neck in line with the spine. Lumbar spine curving slightly towards the ceiling. Lumbar spine curving slightly towards the floor. Muscles of the core supporting the back. Upper thighs drawing back. Head moving forward. Side body stretching, but shoulders moving back towards the waist. Remove the block, walk the feet in towards the chair, and let's move forward, come back down to seated. Coming to seated and sitting towards the front of our chair, and a good time to grab a drink if you need to rehydrate. So take that time to grab a drink. Breathe here. Let's interlace the fingers and take the fingers around the right shin. Draw that right knee in towards the body and flex and point the toes. Again, notice if you're rounding towards the back of the chair and lift. Take that rounding out of the back. Let's release the right ankle onto the left thigh. Again, stretching the spine up. Try and bring the weight. The weight here, there's a tendency you're maybe starting to tilt onto the back. The pelvis is going into a posterior tilt. Try and bring it back to a neutral position. Breathe here. Let's release the right foot onto the floor. Take the fingers into the non-dominant interlace and draw the left knee in towards the body. And again, make that conscious effort to center the weight on the sit bones. And now take the left ankle onto the left thigh. Release both legs. Let's walk the feet slightly wider than hip distance. And then let the left knee come in, roll over. The right hip can roll away as the right knee rolls in. Go back to the other side. Let's hold. And come back and hold once more, the knees facing left. Inhale, come back to center. Just generally shake things out. Grab a drink, grab any extra clothing that you need, and prepare yourself for our final relaxation for Savasana. So take a few moments to just do that final shifting of gears, from the active part of the practice into Savasana, the rest and relaxation part of our practice. The part that gives our body the chance to integrate the moves, to make sense of the moves, and to prepare ourselves to move on for the rest of our day. Closing the eyes, sliding the seat as close as possible to the back of the chair, so that the back of the chair is supporting the spine, but not carrying the weight of the spine. Again, we're still keeping that spine long and extended and avoiding the extension of the spine. Letting go first of the control of the breath. And moving from that very conscious breath that we practice as part of our yoga practice, that linking of the body and movement, the breath and movement. Now allow the belly to relax and move softly with each inhale and exhale breath. And today we paid quite a bit of attention to the shoulders. And while the shoulders are in a comfortable alignment here, allow all those small muscles around the shoulders to relax completely. Let each breath carry a wave of relaxation into the shoulders. Coming to the spine and the core. Allow those muscles to relax from the work they did to hold the body in alignment. Continuing to create that relaxation and awareness. And now, allow the mind to relax. Allow the mind to take a break from paying attention. Now let's slowly begin to bring movement back to the body once more by deepening the breath. Moving the fingers, the toes, nod the head forward and back. Take it side to side. And let's slide ourselves forward. Come to that front edge of the chair. Feel that length. Feel the support that the muscles are providing for the spine. Feel that the top of your head is maybe an inch closer to the ceiling. Let's raise the arms overhead, and as we raise the arms, say, I am energized. Exhale the hands back to heart center, and thank yourself for joining today's practice. Thank each other for sharing our practice. And thank you so much for the honor of being able to guide you through your practice today. Namaste.